Start with your X and your Y chart, use what you have in the picture, and figure out what things you know already. That's the reason I want you to have the equation sheet out. Use the equation sheet to help you figure out what do we know already and what can we find. So you're going to be figuring out what values do you know and what values do you need to measure. Okay? And use the picture to help you with that. You're only needing to do things when the marble leaves the table. You don't need to worry about anything about the track. You don't need to know how long the track is. You don't need to know how high the track is. You don't need to know anything about the track. You just need to know what about the motion when it leaves. And the ultimate thing you're trying to solve for is dx. How far out does it go? That's the thing you're trying to solve for in the end. So figure out what other things you know or can use. Okay? Okay, a lot of you groups have been coming up with good starting points for these. So we know that we're solving for dx. Okay? What are some things that we know, just off the top of our heads, we know have to be true for these? Raja? Yes, good. The acceleration for the y column is 9.8. Okay, what else? Cadence. Yes, the y initial velocity is 0 because it's going in the x direction to start, not in the y. So it's not going up and down, it's going forward. So the initial y would be 0. Good. Okay, are there any other numbers that we just know off the top of our head? Good try, though. All right, that's it off the top of our head. So we're going to need to measure some stuff, okay? And Braden mentioned one of them already. You're going to need to measure the dy. Mr.
B?
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't acceleration zero?
Yes, but we generally don't write those down because that's just something we assume. But you are correct. All right, so we're going to need to measure dy. Be really, 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 really careful. It needs to be in meters, not centimeters. Make sure you measure in meters, not centimeters. Okay, there's one more thing we're going to need to measure. What else do we need to measure to do this? What do we think? What else do we need to measure? We need to measure how fast it's going. Okay, this is the part you're going to do next. I'm going to come give each group a marble. What you're going to do is you're going to use the photo gate timer at the bottom of the track. So the little U thing, you're going to put it at the bottom of the ramp you're going to use. You're going to hit the start button, and it should flash. It should have a bunch of zeros and flash meters per second. That's how you know it's on. Then all you have to do is roll the marble down the track and let it go through there, and then it's going to tell you what the velocity is. Do that 5 times and average them. And then write that down for your x velocity. Now, one last thing to mention. You cannot roll the marble off the table. If you do, you're disqualified from bonus. So, take your tracks and turn them around to face the wall. Turn them around to face the wall. I'll bring you the marbles. So now here's what we've got. We've got dx that we're solving for. We've got the Vx that we've measured. We've got the dy that we've measured. We got the Vi that we know is 0 because it's not going up and down to start with. And we know the acceleration is 9.8 always. So we need to solve for dx. So what you guys need to do is figure out how to do that. How are you going to solve for dx? So figure out what equations will work. I'll give you a hint. This will take more than one step. You're going to have to find something else first before you can find dx. So figure out, what do you need to solve for? How can you solve for it? What do you get? And then can you solve for dx? Once you've got dx taken care of, let me know, and we'll get you started on setting up your measurement. There's the question.